wonderful occasion. Can I get the...
David,
yes.
you have 20 minutes.
Yes, I have 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Do you want me to remind you at certain point?
No, it's all right. I'll time myself. I'll time myself. All right. So I have a very short amount of time with you today, and maybe perhaps a little bit different from the typical kind of mountaineering story. And my intention today is to make sure that all of you take back something that you can use back at home or in your offices. So that's my main intention. So although the stories will be about mountains, it's really about connecting the powerful experiences we have in the mountains with our daily lives, and whether or not the great mountains have something to teach us. So I often like to talk about them as what we call the success principles, or at least in my personal experience, the success principles which have driven my business and my life for the last 25 years. So a lot of you have asked me these questions: why do I climb? And it's interesting because, you know, I'm quite sure Alan mentioned some of the experiences on Everest. It's cold, it's dangerous, you don't get paid most of the time. You're away from home, and of course you don't shower, so it's often a very squalid experience. I mean, my record for not bathing, I think, was 64 days. But don't worry, after 1 week, we all smell the same on the team. So I think it's one thing we don't often address in our daily lives is the why question. The why question is really powerful because when we are, say, in competition with other organizations, you know, the one with the bigger why is the one that's going to win. The climber with the bigger why is the one that's likely to get to the top of the mountain. And for me personally, the why reason is important because it really addresses our sense of purpose. Why we're here. All of you are sitting here because you're in a travel business, but do you love, breathe, and really want to be in this business? Because when you wake up every morning, are you revisiting the purpose of why you're doing what you do? So I have just 5 quick points in this 20 minutes. And the first one is basically what I call the wake-up test. You wake up in the morning, is your emotional relationship with your goal for the day fantastic? Because it should be, because it really defines why you do what you do. And I think Daniel Levine talked a little bit about that too. It's a very strong reason. The purpose of designing something new, the purpose of giving experience, it really goes right down to our essence of why we exist, why we are spending all this time doing what we do. And if you take a look at where I come from, which is the flat tropical city of Singapore. Anyone here visited Singapore before? Yeah, right. What's the most popular pastime in Singapore? Shopping, eating. Thank you very much. So it's not exactly a place to grow mountaineers. So again, when you visit the question about purpose, I think the purpose back in the 90s when I was a young and up-and-coming mountaineer was really about how do we put Singapore on the map of the mountaineering world, and how do we make an impact on this small country to make people believe they can achieve something truly remarkable. And this is our country. These are our mountains, yeah, the buildings. We have no real mountains. So when we began that journey, you know, way back in 1994, to put together the first team on Everest, can you imagine how people reading this newspaper would have thought? In their minds, they're thinking it's like a kind of an advertisement asking for people to come forward to join the team. You know, wanted 10 brave souls for daring adventure. Salary, none. Working conditions, harsh. Prospect of return, slim. Please apply with it. I mean, which Singaporean on earth is going to respond to an advertisement like this? But the moment they do, you know they're pre-qualified. You know that deep inside them, they have some sense of purpose that wants them to do something quite remarkable for their country and in their lives. So I think it's really important never to forget that. And of course, after you get these people who have that strong purpose, what do? You got to set for themselves some what I call some stretchy goals, you know? Stretchy goals that's going to maybe give them that uncertainty of success. So they're going to really have to work very hard at it. And really, it was a stretch goal because at that time, we needed to raise nearly $1 million to get a 4-year expedition, to train a team, supply them, and that's many lakhs. That's many rupees if you think about it. And we were so poor. If you look at that logo, why do you think that's in black and white? We were poor, Daniel. We had no money for even a color logo. Color logos are expensive. So this is a journey that lasted over 3.5 years. So I'm just going to select a few stories where some powerful lessons have come through. And the first story I think was about the fact we had to learn that setting those goals for your team in your companies isn't enough. You've got to take massive action. You just can't dribble or tap like a football on the ground and hope it goes into the goal. You've got to give that football a big, massive kick to get it going where you truly want it to go. So taking massive action, so we had a plan to climb small technical climbs like, say, waterfalls in Korea in winter, and a Himalayan expedition every year, building up our skill and our experience. And that's a process. So this brings me to the third point, a key principle of success, I think, is about behaviors. Back in '96, 21 years ago, we made the first expedition in 18 years of any expedition from another country to try and climb this interesting mountain called Dhaulagiri 7 in the western part of Nepal. But very few mountaineers had been here for a long time. And during the trip, we learned some interesting things about your team members. Because when you go on an expedition like this, the dynamic is not like you go with a group of friends. In your companies and your organizations, you often don't have the privilege of choosing who you want to climb with. You can say, well, I could, but at the same time, Singapore had so few mountaineers, we just had to take the people we thought had the most amount of experience, ability, and a vision for themselves that would fit in the team. And then you go climb mountains, and then you really find out what people are truly made of, and sometimes it's not very nice. Like, for example, on the way in to Dunai, and some beautiful rice terraces, we did a 7-day walk in, and during that time, we stopped at the village, where we bought a local chicken in the village, cut it up into small pieces. Have any of you eaten one of these village chickens before? Come on. Right, you know what they are like. They're tasty, but what's wrong with them? They are very small, there's not a lot of meat on them. And so it gets chopped up, cooked in curry, and then when the pot comes round, you observe everyone just takes a spoon, puts it on their plate, and the pot goes around. When it comes to one member, he looks at the pot for about 1 minute, poking around with a spoon, and then he finally takes out 2 pieces or 3 pieces and puts it on his plate. And then we're thinking, okay, what's the second best piece of chicken left? And you can tell the difference. So I'm saying that when you're working with people, and sometimes some people don't like you or you don't like them, the most important thing is to focus on what I call SOBs. You know what SOBs are? No, not those SOBs. We're talking about specific observable behaviors, which is that instead of looking at personalities and whether I like them, you focus on, does this person express specific, meaning we can identify them, observable, meaning we can see it happening, and its behaviors. It's not a promise, intention, or piece of speculation. We focus on SOBs so that support us reaching the goal. And when we do that, guess what? The fact that they don't like us or we don't like them sometimes, it becomes less important in your workplace or on a mountain. And that's one of the really tough lessons I learned during that journey, that when we focus on SOBs instead of personalities and opinions, we actually help the team get on the mountain. And so it was a slow process of going from one camp to another, having our minor arguments as a team, and working with the dynamic all of you have to go through when you're working on a project in your workplace as well. And then we had a massive snowstorm that nearly buried all our tents. And finally, when we were making that summit push on that day, suddenly you turn around, your partner says, in deep snow, there's no point in going on. Now think about it, in your workplace, do people say things that help the team go towards the goal, or do they say things that discourage the team? So I turned to him and said, look what, let's keep on going for an hour, and then we'll see what happens. After an hour, the snow conditions got better, he was stronger, he overtook me, and eventually we both got to the summit together with our wonderful Sherpa companions. So I think that powerful lesson just tells you that when you're moving towards the goal, you really need to focus on what are the specific observable behaviors which are driving that team to the goal, rather than focusing on what does not matter, which is opinions and things which are very hard to measure. And during those difficult 3 years going up to Everest, you think about it, right? This is your exciting future goal, Mount Everest, nearly 9,000 meters above sea level. And then your current reality, you are stuck in the island of Singapore. The highest mountain there is 168 meters high. Okay, this is a very big gap between where you are and where you want to be. So that's why I think what's so important to understand is the beliefs of your group and your team and yourself. If you believe you can climb Everest, guess what? Your opinions about it change, your feelings change, and then your daily actions, they also change. And eventually, beliefs will drive the results. Because you don't believe you can climb Everest, guess what? Every morning you wake up, different things happen. But you believe you can climb it, different things happen. And these are some really interesting principles, I think, that really drove us to finally get to, yes, Everest, 4 years, 9 days walking in, and finally get a team from a flat tropical city like Singapore on Everest. So I remember when we walked towards Everest, we were standing on this little peak or little hill called Kalapata. You're all familiar with Kalapata? And then we were looking at this incredible force of nature. Most of us had never seen Everest in our lives. And no one says anything. Because from 10 kilometers away, you can hear the sound of that gale force winds blowing across the top of Everest. You can hear this sound like... And then 8 climbers from a flat tropical city. We're just staring, no one's saying a thing. And then some idiot opens his mouth and says, "Wow, so big." Okay, I know. He was just articulating what a lot of us were feeling in it, right? But how do we actually get to that goal? So again, it's a process of chunking it down, breaking down that big goal into smaller pieces. Now we fast forward the story to May. By the time May came, we were all ready to make that summit push. And at the critical point, you crack 2 ribs, just here. And you're lying in your tent in agonizing pain, and slowly, with every passing hour, you realize that your personal dream of climbing Everest is over. You feel very sorry for yourself. You know what? This is normal. You and I are both human. But after an hour, 2 hours, half a day, does it help people? Does it help you? And then I asked them a very powerful question. Maybe you can take this away. And the question was, "So Dave, what do you want now?" It's interesting. It's what I call a future forwarding question. It's a question that forces you, it demands an answer that can't lie in the past. Because can we change the past? We can't, but what can we can change? The future. And I said to myself, what do I want now? I want the Singapore team to succeed. And immediately after that, I began to be re-energized and motivated once more. Because I connected again with my why do you do what you do. That deep sense of purpose. The purpose is to make the Singapore team successful as the leader of that team. So your personal ambition to get to the top yourself is maybe one of several goals. What's the most important goal? What was your purpose there in 1998? So I got one of my team members to replace me. The team went up, got to the South Summit, and there, just 150 meters from the summit. And yes, in those days, the Hillary step was still around. I know it's kind of gone now, right? All the teams stopped. 40 climbers from around the world stopped, including the Singapore team, because all the teams had run out of rope. Again, a classic situation of how teams should not work together. You know, there's a misunderstanding, and some teams behave selfishly. They didn't bring enough rope. We brought rope, and in the end, 40 climbers had to turn away because nobody wanted to do that final ridge with the balancing like that, without being clipped into the safety line that was being fixed. Because if you fall 2,000 meters down the left-hand side of this picture, you're going to tumble down to where my tent is and wondering, why are you back for lunch so early? You fall on the right side of the picture, you're going to fall 3,000 meters down the Kangshung face into Tibet. 2 things will happen. One, the Chinese will be very unhappy because your visa is only good for Nepal. Second, you're going to be falling for such a long time until you hit something that's going to kill you that you'll have time to think about things as you go down. Like, boy, this is really going to hurt. So the entire Singapore team turned back. So I think the key question you ask yourself is this: do you believe? What is your team's set of beliefs at this stage? We have setbacks in our lives all the time, but what do we believe? And the moment people start asking that, and someone says, you know what, I believe we can succeed. I believe we can have a second attempt. What do you think that did to the rest of the team's set of beliefs and morale? It went up. Up and up until several days later, we had a second attempt 2 climbers went up from the Singapore team. When I had gone down with my injury, reorganized the oxygen supplies, and just before 6 o'clock on May 25th, 1998, the radio call comes in and says, I'm reached the vertical end of the earth, says Edwin, my team member, and we are jumping up and down for joy because we know exactly where he is. And I love this picture for selfish reasons. You see the ice axe from which the Singapore flag is flying? That's my ice axe. So let me ask you, this will happen. I looked at this stuff and said, your equipment is about 1 kilo heavier than mine. Take my equipment and climb with it, maybe for the summit. How important do you think it is the saving of 1 kilo of weight? Important to an Everest climber? I see some, thank you. To this day, I have no idea. Because he was so fit, the weather was so perfect, maybe it didn't make a difference. But for all of you here who have people reporting to you, how many of you have people reporting to you in your personal, professional life? Quite a lot here. Think about it. If you give your people all the necessary resources, and they succeed, think about what kind of team you could build if everyone else in the team felt and did things like that. And that is how, in a very, very short space of time, a group of people who didn't like each other a lot of time, from a flat tropical city, get to climb to the top of Everest. But on a personal note, when I came back 1 week later, I came down with this rare nerve disorder called GUILLAIN-BARRE syndrome. Don't worry, your chance of getting it is about 1 in 100,000. My version, 1 in 2 million, so don't worry, it was like striking the lottery. The bad lottery. And what happens in Guillain-Barré syndrome is that your nerves get attacked by your own body's immune system and you become paralyzed through this illness. And it's very frightening because your body shuts down very quickly, and within days you can't speak, you can't walk. Ultimately, I could only move my left eyelid for much of 6 months while in hospital. My good friend Justin comes running in the room to tell me the news. Dave, guess what? They found out what you've got. After all the tests, you've got this sexy sounding French disease. And if you die, you'll be a legend. Friends, yeah? So, there was a long, so you ask yourself, this is, Julie over here is going to talk to you about resilience later, but in that incredible 6 months of when I learned how to write my name again, I learned to walk again, because there's no medicine for Guillain-Barré syndrome. They take your white blood cells out, replace it with donor cells, and then manage your condition as your nerves grow back slowly 1 millimeter a day. So, I think one thing you can focus on what you can control. The moment one finger gets reconnected, one arm can work, you lie there and you communicate to them, but give me an alphabet chart that's on my chest, pin it to my shirt. I'm lying in the hospital bed, and you can just throw your arm over your chest and then point at the letters to form words. So, wow, you're communicating at last. So suddenly from the heights of Everest to a situation where you're totally helpless. And when you're helpless, after a while you feel hopeless and you can feel worthless. And it's a terrible feeling. And what helps you through this? Now this could be a whole 1 hour session itself. I think what helps is having good people around you, having a really positive mindset. Now of course when the doctor tells you, Dave, you're going to live, whether you're going to walk or climb again, we don't know. But the moment they give you some hope, you build on that. You build on that. So, this is a picture of me about 2 weeks before I left the hospital. See, it took me about 5 months before I could get out of bed without being helped. And to this day, I still wear plastic and metal on my right leg here because the right leg below the right knee does not work. So these are permanent disabilities. Can I change that? I can't. What can I change? The future. So the future is learning how to use new prosthetics, orthotics, and then basically the fifth and last point is that focus on what you can control. Because you can't control anything else. So once you can control walking, feeding yourself, you do that. And then finally, you get your comeback climb. In Argentina, Aconcagua, 2 guys come together and by the way, one of the guys has a leg that doesn't work. So what is the most powerful lesson from that climb? Well, first of all, I said, you got to learn how to let go and ask for help. Many of you are very successful, but you know something? That may prevent you from asking other people for help. The moment I asked for help, both of us were doing so much better in the mountain. We were climbing in a safer fashion. But what holds us back? Our pride, our sense that, hey, I'm the old person that I used to be, or I was being very successful, why should I listen and do what you say? But the moment we let go, we ask for help, we then truly grow as people and as individuals. And we finally get to the final top, and the tears start coming in your eyes. It's not because you've climbed a mountain. And that was lovely, that was an alpine style, that was an all good climbing style. But no. You cry because you've regained your life. And I dare you to challenge me with something else that can feel as powerful as that. So really, the success principles today was find your why. Match your values with a big goal that's going to stretch you. Take a massive action. Most people fail on this one. And then find the kind of behaviors that support your goal. And finally, when you get setbacks, don't worry, things will happen to you. Focus on what you can control instead of complaining about things you can't control. So, I still climb. Last year I went to Chulus. But I want you to leave you with something that's going to fill all of us with wonder. I don't want to just leave you with something that I worked with Ilya on in terms of, getting some permissions to do this. But I want you to fill yourself with a sense of wonder about not just the Himalayas, but what are the powerful lessons that the Himalayas and the mountain experiences can teach us, because they are truly the success principles of a lifetime. Let's get going. Thank you for your attention.